What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another expanded deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a deck list that was given to me that I believe was originally posted in a tweet by Rare Candy, so I just want to give a big shout outs to them as they were the ones that originally posted this deck, and it is going to be one centered around Noivern-GX and Altaria. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton, and let's do more cool stuff for you guys. And if you have not done so, please feel free to check out the TTM Discord, where we not only have channels for TCG content, but also draft format content, and draft format, and also Smogon, because here at TTM we are a collaborative channel, so there is more than just the TCG content that you clicked on for this video. And also, before I get into the deck, one final thing, just can't forget to do the question of the day. Now, Noivern-GX, I can't believe I just clicked off of it because I'm going to need to click right back on it, has the Distort and Sonic Volume attacks, where Distort locks items and Sonic Volume locks out special energy. And by the way, sorry if you can hear the fan in the background. It is currently 105 degrees here, so yeah, I need the fan, and hopefully it doesn't come through too much. But either way, Noivern is really just a card that's centered around locking your opponent, whether that's item cards or special energy. And so that got me thinking about the current standard format and how there really isn't a lot of lock per se. I mean, really it's just all about just attacking and getting big attackers and plowing through your opponent's deck. I mean, that's really what it's centered around. I mean, Buzzwole is just kind of the archetype of this current standard format, as it's just attack, 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 and then just keep attacking until either you win or your opponent. And so that got me thinking about how lock used to be the thing to have in the game. And how that used to be, like, I mean, there was Decidueye, which was item lock, there was Seismitoad, I mean, just all sorts of different types of lock. And then Garbodor, to an extent, is currently in the standard format, and that's ability lock. But where do you guys think that, oh, actually, no, not where do you think, do you want to see lock mechanics come back into the game? Do you want to see something like a Noivern but more readily accessible? Do you want to see a card like Seismitoad with Quaking Punch come back into the format? Do you want to see things like Vileplume with item lock for everybody on the bench, or like supporter lock and stuff like that, even though supporter lock hasn't been done in a while? But regardless, do you guys want to see lock mechanics come back into the game, and if so, why? Had to ask me, I really do not want to see them come back. I really like this current game state of the Pokemon TCG in the standard format because it's fun. Like, there's no just you're not allowed to play Pokemon right now. It's fun. It's like you're seeing all these different decks. Yes, Necrozma is currently dominating, but I believe that there are some other decks that are coming up as well. I mean, it's just fun. It's like, okay, does your deck beat your opponent's? Not, do you happen to draw too many items when they item lock you and thus you can't play? I mean, I really am a huge fan of the let's just play the game, play it out, and see what happens type of mindset when it comes to the game. So I don't want to see lock mechanics come back in any significant way. I mean, apart from Garbodor. Garbodor is actually kind of interesting. But yeah, that's just me. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about whether you'd want to see lock mechanics come back and why. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. But I've talked for way too long. I'm sorry about that. Let's go ahead and jump into the deck. Like I said, this is centered around Noivern with Distort and Sonic Volume. Pair that with the Fight Song Altaria, where your Dragon-type Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage to the active Pokemon. Now, this Altaria was normally put with Garchomp with the Mach Cut, I believe, where you discarded a special energy off of your opponent's active Pokemon, and it became a well-known deck called Fluffy Chomp. This is just taking it to a whole new level because it's taking what Garchomp did and basically turning it into item locked, where if you have, like, a couple Altaria out, you have a Choice Band on Noivern, Distort, while locking your opponent from items, can hit for 140 damage in the most ideal scenario. So, I mean, that's quite honestly pretty absurd, and it's something I'm really looking forward to try, because, I mean, the thing with Distort is it just did not do enough damage, even with the Choice Band, to where it could be metagame relevant. However, with Altaria boosting it, you can start getting 2-hit KOs with the combination of Altaria and Choice Band, to where suddenly Distort for 100 looks a lot better than Distort for 80. I know that that's just 20 damage, but that makes the difference between knocking out, like, say, an opposing Noivern. You can 2-shot that thing with Distort as opposed to having to 3-shot that thing. And it just makes a whole lot of difference. Even just one Altaria makes a huge amount of difference. And that's really just what this deck is all around. It's you can have Noivern or you can bust. And if you don't attack with Noivern and you don't win with Noivern, well, you're kind of screwed. But anyway, let's just go ahead and go through the Pokemon lines and why we are running the lines we are running. 4-3 of Noibat and Noivern. I'm running this Noibat because agility lets you get a free turn, essentially, if you're able to hit heads. And then 3 Noivern because if your opponent knocks out 3 Noivern, they win anyway. 3-3 of Swablu and Altaria. I'd like to run 4-4, but this deck just does not have the room. I mean, you probably could make the room for it, but I like the 3-3 that is being run in this deck. It's just, I don't know, it seems nice because you're not worried about like clogging your bench with Altaria, but you are getting the damage output consistently when you want it. 1 Marshadow, and this was a tech that I had no idea about that I really, really like with the Let Loose ability. When you play this from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may have each player shuffle their hand into their deck and draw 4 cards. It's basically a judge. And what's kind of cool about this in combination with Noivern is, first of all, Marshadow in itself, like if you play your hand down to like 1 card or 2 cards or something like that, and one of them is Marshadow, you essentially get a free hand of 4 cards off of that, so that's pretty cool. But then it also forces your opponent into getting 4 cards as well, and then once you item lock them, it really limits the amount of options they have to draw out of that and play out of it. So it's a very cool combination that I'm really looking forward to showing you guys. And then 2 Lele, just because Lele into Brigette is the ideal start for this deck. Just get everything going as quickly and consistently as possible. But yeah, on to the items. We are using 1 Computer Search as the A-spec of choice, just because, I mean, this deck is all about setup, not necessarily a whole lot about recursion and getting things back from the discard pile. So being able to just search that one thing out of your deck is very, very nice. 3 Enhanced Hammer so that we are able to just get rid of special energy. And against decks like Night March, they can get special energy up early, but if we're able to Enhanced Hammer their energy that they have on board away and then consistently Sonic Volume, we can essentially just win the game. And considering Ranger is not something that people run anymore, they also do not run like regular Psychic Energy or anything like that in a Night March deck. If you're able to consistently Sonic Volume, you will almost straight up just win the game, no questions asked. So that is very, very cool. And I hope that we get a Night March matchup because that would be a lot of fun. 1 Field Blower because, I mean, we're locking our opponent out of items, so I mean, we just need to get rid of the pesky items early on and then keep the item lock up, so that's why we only need 1. 3-3 of the Mysterious Treasure and Ultra Ball for our search methods in this deck, just because, I mean, most of our deck is either Psychic or Dragon, but Ultra Ball still can get you that Swablu or that Noibat if you need it, because that's something that Mysterious Treasure cannot do. 1 Rescue Stretcher as our method of recursion, as we really just need to just pick 1 Altaria out of the discard pile, 1 Noivern out of the discard pile, and then 1 Special Charge, as this deck does rely on double dragons. So if we have to discard a bunch of them, we want a way to get them back pretty consistently. Running 4 VS Seekers, absolute max number, so that we can reuse our supporters. 2 Parallel City as the stadium of choice to limit our opponent's bench space, then item lock them, just basically try to eliminate all of the options our opponent has to be able to come back in this game. And then as for the supporters, it's a very cool line. I mean, you have the 3-3 of Cynthia and N as draw support, or as shuffle draw, because, I mean, this deck really doesn't like discarding anything at all. If it had its druthers, it would always just shuffle in the resources. But so that's why you have the higher count of Cynthia and N, but sometimes Sycamore is just unmatched in drawing 7. Can't really beat it occasionally. And then we also have a Colress, which is another method of shuffle draw to get a higher hand count if our opponent and us fill up our benches. 1 Brigette because Lele into Brigette is the best thing this deck can hope for. 2 Guzma, just because Guzma we really don't care about the switching because Noivern does have free retreat. And we also have this little thing called Float Stone, so we can work around that. 1 Teammates as our opponent. If they knock out a Noivern, we can just immediately teammates into another Noivern and a double dragon. It's not something that I use all that often, but is a nice option to have if we need it. 3 choice bands for boosted damage output, 2 float stones for free retreat, and then as for the energy, very low count, just 4 double dragon, as like I said, Distort is the attack that this deck is focused around. I mean, you can Sonic Volume, and that's why we have the extra energy for that, but again, Distort is what you want to use with this deck. And then also we have more Psychic Energy than Darkness Energy, just because we can always Tapu Cure GX if we have a bunch of energy on board and we need to. So yeah, that's a deck. I'm sorry I rambled for so long, but let's go ahead and see this deck in action. Alrighty, we have found one against well, kinda actually looks like potentially another Noivern deck. I mean, we see the Dragon, we see the Psychic, so really I'm not fully sure what we're up against, but fortunately we do start off with a Noibat. The downside is that we are not going first, so that's something that's pretty unfortunate, all things considered. And he does start off with a Mimikyu, so we see that. We see the energy. I mean, this could be Devoured Field. Actually, why am I thinking it's a Noivern deck? This could just as easily be a, oh, there's the Noibat. So, I mean, what I was going to say, I mean, I had Noivern on my mind because obviously that's what I'm playing right now. But obviously what it could have been was just an Ultra Necrozma Malamar deck, which was much more likely, in all honesty. But the fact that, like, that's what we ended up with, it still ended up working out pretty well. So, I mean, I don't get an energy, but what I can do is get a couple Swablu. Okay, there's only 2 Altaria, so it's not worth getting a 3rd Swablu down. Let's just get a 2nd Noibat. And, I mean, I would have liked an energy this turn so that I could Agility. But at the same time, it's not too big of a deal overall, as I do have the Noiverns in hand. I should be able to get the Noivern and the Double Dragon this coming turn, and hopefully my opponent plays a Brigette or something like that, because if he does that, I will be able to obviously get more cards off my Colress, because I would prefer to Colress as opposed to N. My opponent does get the evolution. Does he get the... He actually does not get the Double Dragon, he just gets the Darkness onto his Noivern, which is pretty great for me. Then he's going to Ultra Ball. What is he going to... What's he going to grab? Probably a Lele for, or just grab an Inkay. Okay, so he must have a supporter in hand, because otherwise you would have Ultra Balled for something in. Okay, he does just have the N, and unfortunately, it is the N, which gets rid of the 2 Noivern that I had in my hand, which is very, very unfortunate. Hopefully I can get, well, I get an Altaria. And he will just filch to draw a couple cards. That is fine. So I get an Enhanced Hammer. I don't think that's going to be doing a whole heck of a lot this game. Let's Float Stone up the Altaria after evolving it, and then I think I'm just going to get rid of my Enhanced Hammer and the Rescue Stretcher, because my opponent has shown that they are not going to be playing any special energy, or at least it doesn't look like it. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and evolve into a Noivern, Ultra Ball, get rid of the Acerola and the other Noibat to get... Honestly, just grab another Altaria. I think that's the best play. And I'm actually going to play down the Marshadow. I think Marshadow will be very strong, because then I can just Marshadow into a Distort for a knockout. So let's go ahead and play the Marshadow down. Get a fresh hand of... Well, not a fresh hand, but get a hand of 4 and see what I can do. And then hopefully I didn't let my opponent draw into much of anything at all. So we will be able to Distort, able to... Okay, unfortunately his Mons have 60, so Boom Burst will not be doing enough to knock them out. So let's just go ahead and knock him out with a Distort. I get a couple energy in my hand for next turn. I don't have a supporter, which would be really nice, but at the same time, I mean, I do have all that I would need. So my opponent is going to promote his own Noivern, just attaches another energy, will be able to Distort. That is fine with me. And then he's going to Sycamore, get a fresh hand of 7. So unfortunately I Marshadowed him into a Sycamore, which is unfortunate. And what does Spirit Tomb do? Move as many damage counters on your opponent's bench as you like to any of their other... Okay, so if he Boom Bursts, this is not good for me. He does get a Malamar, so we will be able to start Psychic recharging onto his bench, which is fine. He does Distort. It's going to do 50. Or 60, sorry, with the... what is that called? Devoured Field, there we go. So I get another Noibat. I don't have a supporter for this turn, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and promote my Noivern, and then go for a Distort. It will be a 2-hit KO on my opponent's Noivern. He will be able to attack. He's going to Psychic Recharge. What's he Psychic Recharging onto? Well, I mean, I guess that was a dumb question. He's going to Psychic Recharge onto his Noibat, because that's going to be his main attacker, and he will end me. So, unfortunately, I kind of liked this hand, and even though I didn't have a supporter, I could definitely work with it, because I'd be able to get a third Noivern and a second Noivern completely set up, and I do get a Parallel City. So, is that what I want to do? And he does put down the Oranguru. So right now, my opponent has a bunch of good stuff on his bench. I need a choice. Actually, I don't have a choice band, and unfortunately, my other Altaria is prized. So let's Ultra Ball, get rid of the Enhanced Hammer and the Lele to get my last Noivern. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that. Play that down, and then I need to draw into a regular energy. I'm going to play down the Parallel... No. Oh, no. Crap. That was bad. As soon as, like, I was just on autopilot right there, and like, oh, I have Parallel City, I'm going to play it down. That was not the play. That is 100% not the play. Now, I have to draw into a basic energy if I want to knock out my opponent's Noivern, and even then, I won't be able to item lock him. So that was a horrible play. Like, quite frankly, that was... Oh, that was so bad. That was an atrocious play by me, because now he's not only going to be able to take a hit with this Noivern, he's going to be able to knock out my Noivern, and I don't have a Noivern set up in the background. So had I not played that stupidly, Devoured Field would still be there. I mean, he already got all the energy he needed with Psychic Recharge with Malamar. So that was... Man, that was stupid. That was such a stupid play by me. Like, I'm mad at myself for not thinking that one through. I was on autopilot. Just plain and simple, I was on autopilot, and now I have to draw into a basic energy, which I do, luckily, with my computer search, in order to knock out this Noivern. I mean, I could make the BS excuse that, oh, I wish I hadn't prized my other Altaria, or wish I had drawn into a choice band, but no. That was on me. I should not have Parallel Citied. Plain and simple. Should not have Parallel Citied. That was a very poor play. And now, instead of being able to attack a fresh Noivern and 2-hit KO that thing, I'm forced to finish off a Noivern with 190 damage, letting my other Noivern take a hit, and him just being able to lock me out of my special energy. So this is... Yeah, this is very, very not good at this point. So I'm going to choice band up this Noivern. Let's Mysterious Treasure, get rid of the Enhanced Hammer. Really, I'm just thinning my deck at this point. I know there's nothing else there that I want. And at least this way, if I get my other Psychic Energy, I will be able to knock out his other Noivern from full because of the choice band. And I do get my third prized Altaria. So that is fantastic. That should... Yeah, playing down that last Altaria should allow me to get the Swablu. And he can't Field Blower me away either. So that's pretty nice. Like, he can't get rid of my energy, and... Oh, boy. Oh, no. This is going to be bad. Wait. Oh, he can even knock out my... Okay, this is... I am playing this so poorly. I am playing this insanely poorly. This is all on me. Like, I am... Quite frankly, I'm just not playing well. I'm not playing well this game. I mean, I have nobody to blame but myself. These are just... I'm making suboptimal plays. Was playing on autopilot. I mean, that Parallel City play really did cost me. I mean, it all started snowballing there, which allowed my opponent to take a knockout on my Noivern without having to put up a fresh Noivern, which allowed that Boom Burst play to put him in a good spot. And so, unfortunately, instead of trying to get a hit off on this active Noivern, I straight up just have to attack the Spiritomb to keep from just completely losing the game by him knocking out my Altarias and my Marshadow. So forced into that play. Was not a play that I wanted to do. And now also getting rid of my Rescue Stretcher is going to keep me from getting that extra 20 damage I need in order to one-shot his Noivern. So yeah, that Parallel City is costing me quite immensely at this point. That is... Yeah, and he's going to be able to Sonic Volume, prevent me from getting up another Noivern, prevent me from getting another Noivern set up. So, Yeah, this is not good. So I guess the best thing for me to do right here is to just, I mean, I want to just start thinning, I guess. Yeah, let's Ultra Ball, I think. I want to get rid of the Altaria, because, I mean, like, my Rescue Stretcher's already in the discard pile. So there's no point in keeping the... Actually, there's a Teammates, but no, there's no way to get the... No way to get another Altaria, so there's not really any way that I can pull this off. So let's just go ahead and, I guess... Acerola? I mean, I'm pretty sure this game is lost for me at this point. Because I have no ways of recurring. He's going to prevent me from attaching Double Dragon. I mean, like, I just want to give my opponent tons and tons of props on this. Like, that's just smart. Like, my opponent is playing this so smartly. Like, this is, like, yeah, just all the props to my opponent. I guess I just have to do this and then pray that he doesn't Guzma me up. Because that'll win him the game if he's able to do that. But I mean, like, my opponent is playing this excellently. Like, locking me out of Double Dragons is definitely, like, the smart way to go. And yeah, I mean, playing it very, very well. I am playing it very poorly. And so, yeah, I mean, this is... If we can pull this off, then fantastic. But if we didn't, then, I mean, I just straight up got outplayed. Like, plain and simple. I got outplayed. Like, it was a relative mirror match. I mean, Noivern versus Noivern. Pretty straightforward. But it did come down to me relying on Double Dragon more than he did. And him being able to lock me out and continually lock me out. So this is excellently played by him. I mean, to be fair, I had the advantage in damage. Like, I have the advantage in damage early on. So let's see what I'm going to do. If I can somehow get a... Like, if I can... I might be able to actually top deck into a win. So let's attach and then distort. Because I think I actually... If I can top deck into a VS Seeker... If I can top deck into a VS Seeker, I think I will win. So it's... Yeah, I mean, as poorly as we've played and as well as my opponent has played, this game is, I think, going to come down to... Up, he's going to Guzma. What's he Guzmaing up? He's Guzmaing up an Altaria, which is fine. So if I top deck a Guzma, I just win. Like, plain and simple, I will just win if I can top... Well, not top deck a Guzma, but top deck a VS Seeker. So, alright, I have to hope he doesn't have a Guzma or I get a VS Seeker, which I do not. So let's just go ahead and distort. And I guess we just have to pray. Like, if my opponent has the Guzma, then that's going to be game. But if not, then we have another chance to potentially pull out a victory. But there is the Lele. So Lele is going to find my opponent that Guzma. I mean, really, I mean, yeah. I mean, that one turn where I played down the Parallel City and got rid of his devoured field made all the difference. I mean, that was the difference between a knockout on Noivern and not a knockout. And then him being able to two-shot... my Noivern while I was not able to two-shot him back. So honestly, my opponent deserved that game. I did not deserve it at all, but we still did have a chance if we were able to top deck into a VS Seeker right at the end, but that didn't end up happening. I mean, I'm not going to say that I got lucked or anything because my opponent, like I said over and over, straight up outplayed me. This was honestly a very even match, and I think had I not done that, then even though we are relying on special energy a heck of a lot more than my opponent, then... had I played that correctly, I think we still would have come out on top. But again, that was my mistake. My opponent played that very well, so props to them. And we take the L on this one. But yeah, I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to try to find another one. Let's hope that we can pull out a victory. Alrighty, we have found another one against Rappy Snopfly. I don't even know. Rappy Snopfly, that's what I'm going to say. And we go for the coin flip. We do win, so we will get to go first. That is going to be very, very nice for us, as we'll be able to evolve first. But you know what would be even nicer is if we were able to start with a Pokemon. But unfortunately, that's not what we have right here. So we will have to mulligan. Our opponent will get another card or... Well, hopefully just one card and not a card or two. But, I mean, then again, we can't control it. We do get... Well, unfortunately, we give him... 2 cards, which is not the greatest, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, at least I start with something very nice. And if I can top deck into a supporter, that would be absolutely phenomenal. So, see the Cosmog, and we do top deck into a Cynthia. That is gorgeous. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, Mysterious Treasure, get rid of the VS Seeker, because I mean I have 2 in my hand. Let's see, 3, 2, and let's grab a Lele for the Brigette. Actually, I probably should have checked to see if Brigette was in the deck. Well, let's just cross our fingers and hope that it's there, and it is. I would have felt pretty stupid if Brigette was not there and I didn't even bother to check. Usually I do, but that time I was just like, yeah, let's just Lele for Brigette, just completely forgetting. And then let's grab a Swablu and 2 Noibat. Actually, no, because we have all 3 in the deck. Let's just go ahead and grab 2 Swablu and a Noibat instead of a Swablu and 2 Noibat. And yeah, let's just end the turn right there. That was a phenomenal first turn, being able to get 3 Swablu, 2 Noibat, and an energy onto the field. I can also try to bait out the Field Blower from my opponent if they do run that. They are just attaching energy to the Cosmog. That's okay. Just, I mean, Dust Gathering is just drawing a card, and then I'm going to Lele. My opponent ends me. That would be absolutely amazing, because while I do have a supporter in my hand, I would rather have a hand where, like, I have a fresh hand and then get to play a supporter, and then get to play that hand from there. So instead of just having a dead hand, instead my opponent does Brigette. Yeah, if I can top deck into Colress, that would be just phenomenal. Like, that would be probably the best top deck I could possibly hope for in this situation. My opponent is going to Brigette, going to get... What else is he going to grab? I mean, he has the Cosmog. What else is this deck? So, I mean, it's Solgaleo. I mean, it's obviously Solgaleo because there's a metal energy. What is he pairing it with? I mean, I think there's probably going to be a Alolan Vulpix as well. But it's a matter of what the rest of the deck is. Not fully sure, but we will see. Just another Cosmog and an Alolan Vulpix. Okay, so the Cosmogs, I definitely want to target down ASAP. Those are the things... Like, if I can prevent them from becoming Solgaleos, I think that I will just be able to basically win the game almost for free. Top deck another Cynthia, that's not going to help. So let's just Cynthia, hope that we draw into an Altaria and a Noivern. This hand is beautiful. So what I'm going to do is Mysterious Treasure, get rid of... I want to get rid of the Float Stone or the energy? Let's get rid of the energy in case my opponent tries to Guzma me to stall. Like, to Guzma me to stall to prevent a... continuous distort, because I think, or distort, not distort. I was thinking of Discord, but to prevent a continuous distort, unfortunately, I cannot Boom Burst GX for a one-hit knockout on anything, so I am just going to go ahead, take out the Cosmog, and then take my prize, which is a Guzma, which is beautiful, because this next turn, unless my opponent gets something else, I will be able to take down that Cosmog. Even if he has a Cosmoem, I will be able to one-shot that thing, because Distort is hitting for 90 damage at this point, thanks to my 2 Altarias, and he does evolve it. The fact that Distort prevented him from being able to Rare Candy into a Solgaleo was incredibly huge. And then he is just going to Cynthia, get a fresh hand of 6 cards. I mean, that's fine with me, because I will be able to take out this Cosmoem this next turn, and as like I said in the beginning, as long as I prevent Solgaleo from coming out, I should be able to win this game pretty easily, because Alolan Vulpix is not a big deal, and if I can continually lock my opponent out of items, there's not going to be a whole lot that they can do. So they do play down a Rayquaza, which, honestly, not a big deal, and they do not play down another Cosmog, which is huge, because their Cosmoem is going to go down this turn, and without any other evolutions, I mean, yeah, if they do have the, I guess, grab a Dragonite. What the heck? Well, I mean, I guess they're trying to recycle, and I do even get a VS Seeker, so this is great. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and retreat into my Altaria, Guzma up the Cosmoem. This way I don't have to play my Float Stone just yet. I can still hold on to that to maybe prevent a Field Blower, like a Field Blower Guzma play to potentially stall. And yeah, take out the Cosmoem. I have another Guzma for next turn if my opponent tries to play down another Cosmog, and... yeah, quite frankly, we're in an amazing spot. Like, I really don't think there's going to be a whole lot that my opponent can do at this point. Because, yeah, they can play down the Dragonite to get the Cosmog back. But with the VS Seeker in hand, I will just be able to VS Seeker and Guzma up that other Cosmog once again. Because, like I said, Cosmogs don't get developed. There is nothing my opponent can do to really beat me. And no, I have Wi-Fi. Do not do this. Okay. Okay, so my opponent is just going to go ahead and play down the Cosmog and Beacon, grabbing a Cosmoem, but unfortunately for my opponent, I do have the VS Seeker. I will be able to just play that down one more time and distort the Cosmog, knocking it out, and then I can always just Boom Burst GX, set up knockouts with Sonic Volume later, or even just more distorts later in the game. Let's Guzma up that Cosmog once again, and yeah, I'm not letting my opponent get anything going, and the fact that I'm able to continually take these knockouts on what is supposed to be his main offense with a move that prevents items just furthers my lead. There we go. Sorry, it's like, what is it furthering? Like, is further the right word? I was just like, I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, the Rayquaza comes up. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to Guzma for a third time in a row. I was about to say fourth, but no. The first time he just drew a card. He used Collect Dust, I think is what it is. And then there is the Cosmog coming down. Luckily, with the Distort, my opponent cannot play Rare Candy, so I'm giving myself another opportunity to draw into a VS Seeker to take out the Cosmog. And he does just decide to go for the Turbo Storm. That's fine. What I'm able to do is actually get rid of the DCE, force my opponent to play another one down this coming turn if he wants to attack with Rayquaza. And yeah, my opponent does just concede right there. I mean, I had the item lock. I got rid of his DCE. He was going to have to play down another one on a heavily damaged Rayquaza that would have gone down to a second Distort later. So they would have just wasted 2 DCEs for a little bit of energy, and then I would have been down to 2 prizes and a full board setup. So there really was not a whole lot my opponent can do, and they do just concede, and we are able to take the win. So it's not quite as exciting of a game as the previous game, but unlike the previous game, I actually felt that I played this one. Well for the matchup. I mean, I'm inexperienced with this deck, and that definitely showed in the first game, but I felt that my strategy was on point with the Solgaleo deck. And yeah, I think that I'm just going to end that here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.